The family that prays together stays together. Welcome to today's program as we reflect on the parables of Lent. Today, we reflect on the parable of the Good Samaritan, and the theme of our reflection is living faithfully to the pillar of almsgiving. My name is Seminarian John Wang'ondu from the Catholic Diocese of Nyahururu, studying at St. Thomas Aquinas Seminary. This parable comes when the church calls her members to the three pillars of Lent: prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. Therefore, in connection to the pillar of almsgiving, the question of this scholar of the law is our question too. Lord, who is my neighbor? In response to this question, he gives a parable presenting to us the neighbor as anyone in our midst, in our families, and even in our community in need, both physically or spiritually. On the other side, he gives to us three characters: the priest, the Levite, and the Samaritan, and their different reaction to the neighbor in need. At the end, he asks him, and he asks us who are listening to the gospel today, who among the three was a true neighbor? Who among them faithfully fulfilled the pillar of almsgiving? His response is as correct as we would respond to Christ, the Samaritan. The recommendation of Jesus Christ to this man and to us who are listening this parable is to imitate the good example of the Samaritan. It is therefore important to ask ourselves this essential question: what is it that this Samaritan did so that we too can imitate him in our lives during this season of Lent and even in our Christian life? To begin with, the Samaritan went closer to where the beaten man was, unlike the priest and the Levite who passed very far away from where he was. The power of our presence to the needy can really do wonders. It can restore the sense of belonging to those in need, and it can also restore hope to them. Like the Samaritan, let us ask ourselves, let us not see a half-dead man who can defile us, but see a half-alive man in need of our help. Secondly, the Samaritan was moved by compassion. Our generosity, my brothers and sisters, will be in vain and unpleasing to God if it lacks this essential disposition, compassion. Compassion made the Samaritan to ask a selfless question: if I do not help this man, what will happen to him? Unlike the priest and the Levite who ask themselves a selfish question: if I help this man, what will happen to me? Thirdly, the Samaritan never screamed for help. He helped the needy himself. Many are the times in our lives we rush to see the potentiality of others to help the needy, and we forget our own potentiality to help people. Imagine you don't need so much things to help the needy. You only need love and what you have. Like the Samaritan used his horse, he used his wine, he used his garment, and he used the only 2 coins that he had. Fourthly, he placed himself in the shoes of the beaten man. He asked himself, if I am the one in this condition, how would I want to be treated? And he followed the golden rule in Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. Do unto others what you would want them to do unto you. Finally, he did not count the cost. He used his wine, oil, time, the coins he had, he tore his cloak, and promised to pay the debt. All this without counting the cost. When we are moved by the true love of God, the human life and the welfare become more important than the perishable things God has enabled us to get. May God bless us as we go to be good Samaritan to our brothers. The family that prays together stays together.